That Sing Street back there?
Yeah, Sing Street, Inside
Oh,
Llewyn Davis, and then the sign in Sidney Burstein's window.
oh my gosh. What a triptych. Just lovely. Lovely,
Like I
lovely,
said,
lovely.
eclectic little background. Uh,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
to start, the energy of this movie reminded me a lot of like the early aughts and like the early 2010s of filmmaking, where things were a lot more lighthearted in our adaptations. And I think it's very fun. For you, how was it to kind of get to work in that kind of tone for a film and bring it back, as it were?
Oh, that's it. I mean, I love the idea of I love this take. Yeah, I mean, it was amazing working with a cast who were really, so smart and so funny and yeah, could, inhabit this world and inhabit these characters in a way that felt sort of like true and human and honest to me while still sort of like, dealing with these half-page long monologues interspersed with their conversation. Yeah, I don't know. It was just it was having fun with these verbally dexterous people in this world that felt very I mean, I love the production design of the films that our production designer created. This big, vibrant, colorful, love-filled world. Yeah, it was just yeah, the most fun. The most fun.
Yeah, I do have to ask. This is now the second movie I've watched recently where I would consider characters yappers, where they're just like talking.
What was the first?
And as a yapper myself who hates the sound of silence, I'm like, oh, that's relatable.
Yeah.
Did you ask me what the other one was?
Yeah.
Oh, queer. Daniel
Oh
Craig
yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
yaps.
Yeah.
Like he's just monologuing 90% of that movie.
Right. Love
But
it.
is like I understand that because I don't like silence and I just talk, 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 talk. But when you are filming something and like making these characters feel as whole as possible when there are multiple yappers in one movie, how do you kind of navigate like figuring out the balance between who is yapping at any given moment?
I mean, I want to give all of the if that is working at all for you, it's due to, Allison and Doug and Patrick and Amrit and Iris and Johar. They were one of the things that I was looking for in casting was actors who, I mean, there were so many different things, but one of the qualities I wanted were people who had a real verbal dexterity and could handle complicated dialogue. We weren't so devoted to the script that like there was never anything like sort of that changed, but it was pretty much the script was the script, and like there's a cadence to those exchanges and there's a rhythm to the way the sentences are structured that I wanted to have that like Howard Hawks, like His Girl Friday kind of like rapid fire back and forth where it's just, Allison kept describing it as like uh the kind of characters who are having their best, wittiest most on the ball days after like 8 cups of coffee, like that was their and so it's a heightened thing. It's a heightened world, but yeah, we still wanted to balance it out and have it feel, like 1 foot off the ground. Like, still grounded a little bit in reality and have them not feel like caricatures, but like real people who just are in this slightly askew universe.
Yeah, and this is probably a question more for Douglas when I talked to him, but what I loved was I love Riot Club. Like
This,
I read Posh as a teenager and
oh
I
yeah, dude,
when
same.
like
Yes.
so Douglas Booth being in this, I was like, not Riot Club 2.0. But
Riot Club was the movie that I was like I've seen him in so many things, but when I was looking at actors and I was like Riot Club, Douglas Booth. Like, yeah.
well, so I was
I
gonna ask you.
love
Well then never mind. This is a great question to ask you.
Okay.
How do you make sure like a character like this feels so different than like Riot Club and make like I actually like cared about Werther versus, you know, in Riot Club where I was like, I don't want any of these boys to have any good things happen.
That movie is like yeah, I feel like there are like movies that come along at certain times. Like I think of like The Talented Mr. Ripley had
Uh,
this like obviously where it's like wow, you had like Matt Damon, Jude Law, Philip Seymour Hoffman, Kate Blanchett,
Yeah.
Gwyneth Paltrow, like and I feel like Riot Club was
Sam
very much that,
Claflin,
right? It's
Douglas
like
Booth. There's so many
every
in that movie.
every talented, beautiful young English boy at that time was like Riot Club. Like it was like uh but yeah, and Doug really stood out from that incredible cast for me. It's Sam Claflin too. God, it's so funny. Uh but yeah, I mean I think it's I think a lot of it is just stolen from the source material, really. It's like where there is this like reckless, relentless, hopeless romantic. And I think there's a lot of you know, it's there are there's a way to create empathy for a character or where their situation creates empathy. He's not lying to anyone about what his intentions are. He's very sort of like straightforward. He's like, Charlotte, this is what I intend. Are you along for the ride? And she kind of is, kind of isn't. It's a unrequited situation. And I think like seeing someone who could be like a lensed in a way that is just so caddish and so despicable and but is humanized by his friendships, even though he doesn't treat Paul that well, but is the way that he's interested in other people and is gregarious and comes into a room with a lightness and with a spirit that connects with people. And when he's in the wrong, if he knocks over a server's tray of drinks, like 5 minutes later, he's going to make sure that she's having fun with everyone else at the party. And it's I feel like there's a just a like a very winning, likable spirit that Doug in particular like really brought to the role. Like I do not know how he feels about this comparison. You can ask him. I've made it to him a few times. I've said it to him in front of him a few times, and I still don't know how he feels about it. But I think it's apt. I think he is like a Cary Grant. Like I think he's like he can do drama with such like pathos and vulnerability. It can, just really, yeah, find like a nuanced, emotionally intelligent character. And he can also do comedy in a way that feels like it's from a place of character and it's, just real and vulnerable and sly all at once. I think he's incredible.
And it was the other one was Max Irons. I was sitting over here
Oh, Max Irons,
like trying
yes.
to think. I was like, there was a
Yes.
third one. Who was the third one? It was Max Irons. But I do have to ask because it's now that I'm thinking about the Riot Boys and movies that I like that are just like boys, 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 boys. I think it's so funny that we see online all the time people being like the loneliness epidemic of boys. But then when I watch movies like this, I was like, this is the kind of boy content that I genuinely think is fun. For you, how was it like creating a movie that I do think like women in particular are going to love?
Hello.
Hi, Rachel.
Sorry, my internet cut out.
Oh, I mean, it happens. It happened to me earlier today, and I was like, "Why won't this email load?" Also, while you were gone, I looked up Riot Club, so I was like, "Who else?" Max Irons,
Uh-huh.
Freddie Fox,
Uh-huh.
Josh O'Connor,
Oh my God,
and
I
then
forgot about Josh
Holly
Allen.
Granger from the. Do you know the? Oh God, it's
That
uh,
show.
the CB Strike show.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
and
Jessica Brown Findlay yeah. Why can't I think of the name of it?
Downton Abbey.
Not Bridget. Down Abbey. There we go.
That's
Yeah.
yeah, I
Okay.
forgot about that cast. Well, the question I was gonna ask
Crazy.
before I froze,
All right.
was it because we're thinking of like Riot Club, I see those things as like boys, 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 and like I love it as a woman, and so it makes me laugh when everyone's like the male loneliness epidemic because I'm like, yeah, but if you watch these good boy movies, those are the boys that we're trying to look at. And I think Young Werther falls into that category of like the cool boys that were like, yeah, but that's a dude I would hang out with. For you as a creative, is it fun to like now that the movie's coming out, kind of think about your film in that lens of like people are gonna be like, yeah, that's a guy I could hang with.
Oh my God. I mean, I would take that as the highest compliment. I feel like I mean, my brother my younger brother who I call him my little brother all the time. He's like, bitch, I'm 6'2", and I'm like, all right, okay, all right. You're not my little brother. But he was a producer on the movie, and another one of his very saucy comments to me early on was, he's like, "Can I tell you something?" I was like, "What is it, James?" He was like, "Werther is who you want to be, but Paul is who you are." I was like, "James, don't see me, don't perceive me." Just uh, but yeah, it's I mean I love this character. I feel like there's like a you know I what is it like? I just showed my 7-year-old The Princess Bride for the first
Mm.
time the other day. Because I was like, I wonder if this is gonna like, like I have such fond memories of it. Is it gonna work? And she like loved it, like went nuts for it, loved like the adventure and the fun or whatever. And it was the first time I'd ever been like, what was that guy's name again? The pirate? And I was like, oh, Wesley, the stable boy, the Dread Pirate Roberts. She was like, yeah. Do you think do you think I could learn to sword fight like him? And I was like, I think you could. Like let me look into like sword fighting lessons. And I was like, wow, she's like seeing this like cool character and wanting to do the cool character thing, like that was I don't know. I don't know how that relates exactly. It just made me yeah.
No, I love that. I love The Princess Bride, so that's perfect. I like that she was like Wesley though. Like
Yeah,
I
Wesley.
want to be the stable boy.
Buttercup's cool too, but oh my God. The fencing scene, Mandy Patinkin. Oh, young Mandy Patinkin. Talk about a boy you want to hang out with. Come on.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Flawless. Can I throw this out there very quickly? This summer I finished watching the Apple Limited Presumed Innocent
uh,
series, the Jake Gyllenhaal thing. And I was like, I kind of want to watch like a network legal procedural. And Disney served me up Criminal Minds, which I'd never watched before. Have you ever seen it?
I just know that Mandy Patinkin is in specific seasons of it, and then
He's
that's
in like
on to Homeland.
and then he was like, I hate this, I'm leaving. But I watched the first season with Mandy Patinkin. I was like, this fucking guy is so good. Love Mandy Patinkin. You ever hear him
I
sing? You ever Good Fight? Oh my God, this guy.
Yeah, he's a Broadway legend.
Yeah, yeah, God,
That's my king.
gotta
I
write
love
something for
Mandy
Mandy
Patinkin.
Patinkin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we just need to always write things for Mandy Patinkin, in my humble.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
for a last quick question with something like this, like
All right.
now that you and I are best friends and we have the same
Yeah.
opinions on movies like The
Yeah.
Riot Club, what is the most exciting thing for you with this movie coming out and people getting to see it and experience your take on Young Werther?
Oh, what is the most, I mean, the most exciting thing is just that it is coming out, which is crazy. Like I feel the most fun part of the whole process was making the movie. It was being in prep, it was being with the cast and the crew shooting, it was editing with our wonderful editor Sandy Pereira and Harrison Perez. Like just that was the most fun, but it's like mind-blowing to me that like yeah, the movie's coming out in theaters. It's been like it's I feel so like it's a limited run in the US in theaters, but it's like a theatrical release for a movie is crazy. It feels wild. Like I'm gonna go with my mom and dad, and my brother, and my wife, and my brother's husband. We're all gonna go to the movie together, and like we're gonna go to the movies together, and it's the movie that me and James worked on together. Like that's crazy. It's so fun. So yeah, super excited.
I can't wait for everyone else to get to see it. And thank you so much for talking with me today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah, have a wonderful
You
day.
You too. Have a great one. Bye.